This is a 3-year-old food forest here in Mount Maunganui. Transformed what was a sand pit into this abundant, lush, edible forest. Really exciting stuff. Check this out. It's a full transformation from sand pit into food forest. Here's the info. Most people think you can't grow a food forest in an urban front yard or a backyard, especially in places like this where we're on a sand dune. We're in Mount Maunganui right now. This is a small urban front yard, backyard combo. It'd be hard to believe, but this food forest is only 3 years old, and it's the best. This is the best food forest in all of Mount Maunganui. It's a sand dune here. You dig and it's just sand. And so the way we've done this is really incredible. We actually, on the tree lines themselves, dug trenches, filled the bottom of those trenches with clay, because clay helps retain water, moisture, and nutrients a lot better. And so you can see, look around, the systems are thriving. We have Cavendish bananas, blue java, huge racks. We have cherimoyas that are head height. We've got peaches, we've got nectarines, we've got all sorts of incredible annual and perennial vegetables, herbs, berries. This system hasn't been managed in 3 months though, and with 3 months of growth, we've got a ton of stuff to be managing. Mostly stratification pruning, which basically means teasing the layers apart. As the canopy layers blend together, they're less efficient. So what you want to do is you want to tease these layers apart every few months or so. That's what we're going to be doing here, doing some pruning. We'll check back in a few key moments, show you what's happening, and then wrap up at the very end. But this is one of my favorite projects. Such a beautiful example of what's possible in a small front yard system. This poplar, super fast growing from cuttings. Pollard it, right? You cut it here in spring, it's regrown almost twice its height already. It's a fantastic fungal bridge species as well. So it creates a connection between the ectomycorrhizal and the arbuscular mycorrhizal. Basically, long story short, it brings really nice fungal connectivity, right? Fungi is like the internet of your soil. It transports nutrients, minerals, water. And so bringing certain species and introducing certain species like willow, poplar, alder, aspen, they bring that fungal dynamic to your soil because they're fungal bridge species connecting multiple kinds of fungi. So, beautiful poplar, looking good. Same with the willow, raising the canopy. Basically, that's what we're doing here. We've got an apple tree right here, which is hard to see. It's in and amongst the raspberries, but before the willow was kind of growing into the apple and the raspberries. So what we're doing is we're lifting the canopy of the willow. We're removing it so that there's no canopy conflict. That's most of what the pruning today is. We're doing our stratification pruning, teasing those layers apart. And so that's what this looks like. Find the apple, the top of its canopy is here. We're gonna move some raspberries around, but you can actually see right here, you can see these apples. Right, and so as they're getting ready to ripen, we want to allow that sunlight, that airflow, by removing the lower branches of these willows. Teasing them apart, getting airflow, a little bit of extra organic material to the soil, growth pulse, and just helping the whole system out. So we'll check in here and there, show kind of before and afters. It's looking good though, already. Just been here for a few minutes. Alright, so we spent all day long managing this urban food forest. We've done all the stratification pruning, lots of pruning the fruit trees and the service trees, and then just cutting a lot of the understory herbaceous things like the Mexican sunflower, the bonnegrass, comfrey, yacon, things like that. Thinning out some bananas, feeding the more recent plantings, jaboticaba, coffee, and the agroforestry lines. And you can actually come and see these lines. They're a lot more obvious now. Before, when you get here, you get into a system, it's all hairy, the forest is tangled up. We've just untangled everything. It looks really nice, lots of organic material down here in the temperate Mediterranean area with the chickens, and in the backyard as well. So at the very end, we'll go see what the backyard looks like. It's a lot more organic and flowing. There's a deck. It's a really cool space. But first, let's check out the linear agroforestry systems. We're walking by these willow, which have been pruned up above the pears and the apples. The poplar, eucalyptus are doing really well. A lot of these cherimoya are doing really well. Chest height, we've got the flowering cherry guavas all over the place. More cherimoya. We've got Cavendish bananas here as well. Cavendish don't generally fruit in the Bay of Plenty, but here at the mount we get warm enough, no frost. They're doing really well. We've got loquats in here. We've got the white sapote, sweet granadilla, which is like a really nice passion fruit. Citrus are doing really well, and so this is a 3-year-old system, and it's just absolutely thriving. System's pumping. We've got some really tall ukes. Really interesting. Some of the ukes just like didn't take off as well as the others, so that's the value in overplanting, putting multiple varieties in. We had 2 different varieties. Obviously the Nitons and the Shining Gum are the absolute winners. We also got some beautiful bananas up here. This is not uncommon size rack. Way better than we get at my site, because we get frost here that just absolutely pumps. Sometimes I think to myself, I'm like, man, if I didn't have frost at my site, I would be absolutely crushing it, but it's a good challenge. So things are thriving here. We got a bunch of different banana varieties as well. The Cavendish, the Blue Java, the plantains, Goldfinger, all kinds of bananas. Fantastic. High diversity. We've got artichoke and cardoons, feijoas. We did a lot of pruning, the tree lucerne, kind of like antlers is how I like to think about pruning these guys. And if we look back this way, you can see how linear these lines are. So you can see things are linear, looking really nice. Especially that midsummer, did the summer pruning of the fruit trees, opened things up. 3 years from an absolute sand pit. I'll show you the photos if I can find them. Like the photos from when this first started out, you'd never believe that it could, in such a short time, turn into this. It's actually a really publicly well-known area because it's by a big access way here in the Mount. If you're in this area, you know this site. You pass by it, and you've seen how fast it's transformed into this incredible forest. It's been really cool. The owners here, they've connected a lot with the community because of this. Like they'll be out. We got a dog. The owners will be out gardening, and people, neighbors, just walk by, and just like lots of really cool connections come from just having planted the food forest. So we're gonna go look up the back. Really cool, small space, backyard, really cool agroforestry, kind of in a backyard, social space kind of setting. So we'll check that out. So this is a really cool backyard. This was actually an absolute sand pit when we first showed up here 3 years ago. It was like really hot, exposed. It really felt like a desert. It was literally just sand everywhere. There was, here's some bikes going down the beach access path. The beach access path is right there, and so that's what I mean when this place gets a lot of foot traffic. People know about this place. So first showed up here 3 years ago, absolute sand pit, no deck, no cover, just really hot and uncomfortable to be in. So part of this design was actually designing the deck to kind of have this little seating, the social space alcove that's surrounded now in forest, right? A lot of that is as a result of these fast-growing tree lucerne, the support trees, the nitrogen fixers we've been pruning, and obviously now our cherimoya, a really high-value fruit tree. We've got our citrus, we've got curry leaf plant, we've got rosemary, we've got geranium, yacon, more citrus. All these really incredible plants, like really aromatic things directly around the backyard seating space. We've got figs, we've got gingers, we've got more citrus. It's this really just incredible oasis right at the back door, where it used to just be this hot desert. And so it's amazing how quickly things can turn into a productive, functional, living social space right out the backyard. 3 years, unbelievable. We'll take a little bit more of a deep dive. Cherimoya, Chilean guava, yacon, citrus, tree lucerne, peach, feijoa. Ooh, this is really interesting. It's a tree lucerne stump that we cut because there was not, we didn't need it here, but it's resprouting. I thought it would die, but it's resprouting, so interesting data, feedback. More citrus, yoga ginger, pumping cherimoyas. No flowers yet. These are only 3 years old though. Citrus, thriving. Bananas, pumping. Tree lupin. Bunch of yacon, figs. Again, you can see right here another social seating area. We have lots of lunches here. Every time I come to manage, the owners here make like the most amazing sandwiches. Thank you so much, Joe. They're incredible. Best in the melt. And again, really nice shelter. We've got the raisin tree right here. We've got the peach, the tree lucerne, the cherimoya, the ice cream bean, the sugar cane, the silk trees in flower at the moment. So all these really incredible plants, like add that diversity, add the texture, add the green, the shade. You can also add the umbrella for when it's really hot, and it's just a really inviting, edible, aromatic space. Lots of organic material, no heat stress. Again, it used to be a desert. Could never sit out here, but now it's this really comfortable environment. Trees are thriving, right? They're doing really, really well. Things are productive. It's absolutely unreal what's possible in a short 3-year period in a backyard that was literally just sand into this. Hopefully this has been interesting, valuable. Leave a comment, let me know. I'm super curious what you want to see more of, hear more of. This is like one of my favorite sites. This is such a great model of what's possible in a small space in a short amount of time. If this has been interesting, come hang out in the fellowship where we talk about deep dives of designs. We can design your site for you as part of the Food Forest Games. We do live trainings, all sorts of really cool stuff in the fellowship. Come hang out. Otherwise, see you in the next one. There's going to be a really cool video right here. YouTube knows you well, so go check that out. See you in the next one.